Hello, everyone. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties, so we're starting just a little late, but I do want to do an audio test, so if someone could please type in if they can hear me. Thank you. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to our next webinar, EdTech Tools and Resources of our series, Adapting to COVID-19 Higher Ed in the Transition to Online Learning. Please connect with us using the hashtags MCCA webinar, COVID-19, and Better Together, and visit our website for updates. In today's session, we are going to learn, as the title says, about EdTech tools and resources. Each presenter will give a little presentation about their company and what they offer to help with resources to help with the transition from in-person to online learning. Our presenters today are Peter Phippen, Alicia Jahant, Jessica Hoskins, Art Jan Owiak. We should have gone over that, sorry, Art, over the pronunciation of that, I apologize. Derek Reeves, and Chad Adams. We will begin with Peter Phippen. He's been working in higher education for the past 13 years. He specializes in international higher education and has lived throughout Asia at different times. Currently, Peter is the Director of Global Sales at Conex Ed, headquartered in Salt Lake City. He has previously worked as the Asian Director of Recruitment for EC Higher Education, as well as the Global Recruitment Coordinator at Old Dominion University. He also spent a number of years working with CHEG, helping over 300 different universities across the globe with their international marketing efforts. Peter earned his degree in Asian Studies from Utah State University and is fluent in Mandarin Chinese. He has organized several higher education recruitment tours throughout China and the United States and regularly presents at all major conferences and events. He also loves snowboarding, all things outdoors, and convincing his 3 children that Star Wars is the greatest movie series of all time. And with that, Peter, you've got the floor.
Perfect. Thanks you, Caitlin. Excited to be able to meet with everybody and talk about some of the challenges that we're all facing, right? Everybody's now, for the most part, working from home, and life is a little bit different. And as we get into the discussion with all of my fellow colleagues and other EdTech opportunities for you, I think one common theme will hold true, and that is we want to make sure that your students are properly taken care of in the way that you would normally be able to take care of them just at your own campus, in the way life once was. We've been thrust into a new era, if you will, and hopefully here with some of the slides that I'll be able to present, I'll showcase the ways that Conex Ed can really help mitigate some of those challenges that you probably are already experiencing right now. Conex Ed, just to allow you to understand what it is that we do, is we developed a service that really will help take all of your student services virtual in a way that whether you are on campus or now operating from home, you're able to meet and take care of your students almost in an identical and identical way to what you have been doing. We've been operating since 2014. We work with several schools throughout the United States and a couple international entities as well. And most recently, I wanted to highlight one element that I think is particularly poignant to the Missouri Community College Association as well, and that is just as of last week, we rolled out our services to all 123 California community colleges. Community colleges are something that we have a very keen interest in supporting, not only for the principle behind what a community college does in terms of helping those students in the community, but at the same time, really making sure that we understand the needs of all different types of student body types. You've got on-person, you've got digital learning, you have distance learning. and the students of community colleges come in all different shapes and sizes, and this is something that we are very familiar with. And I just wanted to from a legitimacy perspective, let you know that we understand. Now, when it comes to working with your students, we understand that an institution primarily functions off of at least two main or three main groups. You've got your learning management system, you've got your student information system, and then you typically will have a myriad of different options that you have been using with regards to your student success platform. What we aim to do is to bring that student success platform into one cohesive system rather than using a lot of disjointed components to really make sure that you are handling all of your students in a way that's going to allow them to obtain the greatest amounts of success. What's great is our platform will integrate with the learning management system. It will integrate with your student information system, and all of these systems will be able to communicate, share data with each other, and talk to each other in a way that you're not missing any information. You're able to take all of the meetings that you're able to have with these students and make sure all of the systems are providing you the metrics that you need with regards to making sure that nobody is slipping through the cracks. You're able to showcase all of your performance metrics and all of those elements that you might need when reporting up to senior management or other stakeholders about the progress of your office, your group, your department, your student body, whatever it might be. And this is just a quick snapshot of what the ConnectSed system really aims to pull into one cohesive system. You might have different software that you're using for queuing, different software that you're using for scheduling, instant message, video meetings, advising and outreach. And these are all of the systems that essentially you can consolidate then into one enterprise level system with ConnectSed. We will have a queuing system that you'll be able to use when life turns back to normal and you need to put a kiosk out on that front desk in financial aid and allow students to really know their place in line. Our scheduling system is extremely customizable and robust down to the individual group that might be looking to use it. And then we have all of these other additional features built in that makes it so that if a student needs to self-schedule, they click a link on your website, they make an appointment, and then they have that option of just jumping directly into our own video meeting platform or anything like that that makes communicating with the student feasible and realistic. A couple of snapshots just so you can have an idea of what this looks like and what I mean from all of these different elements. This is going to be our video meeting platform. We call it Cranium Cafe. What makes this platform quite different from some of the other video meeting platforms that are existing and on the market is this is specifically designed for higher education with a couple of things in mind. Number one, we have built-in real-time closed captioning. There we go. So it's a fully ADA compatible program. You have the ability to build a document library and be able to interact with your students and complete those documents with them in that video meeting capacity. You can even see, if you see that light blue area there just in the middle, you can have a digital signature take place so that you can sign and execute documents while you're working with that student. All of the videos have the ability to be recorded. We do not charge anything for data storage. And so this is a great way for tutoring centers or financial aid or anybody to be able to go back and reflect upon some of the meetings that they have had, especially in the tutoring scenario. You can share that link with your students and they can go back and remember all of the different notes that they had talked about. This is a snapshot of our scheduling system. We'll link with all of your major calendaring systems, Google, Outlook, Office 365, or any Exchange program. And you'll be able to have the ability to set in this light gray area your availability. So that way when students click on a link on the website that says, I need to make an appointment, our system is going to automatically filter that down by the reason why they need to make a meeting to the correct person to be able to handle that reason during a time that is convenient for that particular person. And then if you see any of these diagonal lines on some of these entries, this is something that's pulling from your personal calendar so that it blocks that off and won't affect your schedule. Our instant message feature is very robust and useful, and a lot of institutions have reported that this becomes their favorite aspect of our entire suite of services. Essentially, a student will be able to instant message you, and then you have 5 options in which you can communicate with that student depending on your needs. Number 1, you can open that student's details and review their notes as to what they might be talking about. You can send that instant message to a different person. You can answer all of their questions and then save that instant message as a meeting. So for a reporting metric, it gives you those useful credentials. And then you can send that student to a virtual waiting room or open it directly up into a virtual meeting. We are completely FERPA and HIPAA compliant. Students must log in with a customized login screen that you will be able to personalize to meet your needs using their single sign-on or their student ID. It works on any device. It makes it extremely useful because there's nothing to download. It's completely online and web-based product that allows students to really be able to access this anywhere. Now, just as I wrap up, a quick case study to help put all of this in, good concept and theory into real-life practicality. Take, for example, the East Los Angeles case study, of which we'll also be doing a webinar next week. Keep an eye out for that if you want to hear from East LA themselves, their experience. But we implemented last fall. On average, prior to the coronavirus, they were having about 30 meetings a week during the month of February. Once coronavirus came in and they had to shut down campus, all of a sudden that panic set in, and you could see that they were having a really spike in their number of meetings that they were able to use. And you can see in March, they're currently averaging about 700 plus meetings a week. And all of that is able to be self-contained just directly within the ConnectSed platform through our scheduling elements and video meeting elements. And it's all FERPA, HIPAA compliant. Data is captured. And it's just been a really great tool for them to be able to utilize. And now you'll have that same experience with almost every single one of our partners. But I wanted to keep this short to about 10 minutes as instructed. This is my presentation. If you have any questions, I'm sure my information will be shared with everyone. And thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Peter. And I did forget to mention at the beginning that if you do have questions, please type them into the Q&A box and we will answer them at the end. Our next presenter is Alicia Jahant. She's an Enterprise Sales Director for HonorLock, where she oversees the business development of the South Central District. Prior to HonorLock, Alicia worked with higher education institutions in the state of Texas as a publisher's representative. Alicia focuses on student success and has made it her goal in her various roles within education. Take it away, Alicia.
Good afternoon. My name is Alicia Jahant, as Caitlin said, and I'm the Enterprise Sales Director for HonorLock, covering the state of Missouri. Thank you to the Missouri Community College Association for inviting HonorLock to attend and present at today's webinar. As our nation's institutions have been asked to move to online delivery during the COVID-19 pandemic, HonorLock is honored to provide online proctoring services to ensure academic integrity during these online assessments. For those of you familiar with online proctoring, HonorLock provides all of the standard features you may recognize from other platforms: student photos, student identification, room scan, a browser, lockdown browser, screen share, etc. HonorLock integrates directly with your institution's LMS. We are cloud-based, making it easy to set up and to use. We align with the settings you already have in place for your course in your LMS. In addition to those standard features, we have 3 very unique features: search and destroy, multi-device detection, live proctor pop-in, and live proctor pop-in. These 3 technologies were designed to promote academic integrity by preventing academic dishonesty and securing the exam environment. First, I wanted to tell you a little bit about search and destroy. Secure your test answers. Our technology removes test content from the internet automatically. We have created an algorithm that will proactively remove exam content from any third-party website before your students even take the test. You may have heard of sites like CourseHero, Quizlet, Chegg. There's many out there. These sites have been very responsive, and we are able to remove over 90% of exposed exam content. Next is our multi-device detection. This is our award-winning patented technology which prevents mobile devices from searching test answers online during an exam. This technology allows us to detect if students use any type of secondary device during that assessment. Next is Live Proctor Pop-In, the first and only automated system that will prompt a live proctor to pop in to a student session. Our artificial intelligence runs throughout the assessment. As it flags suspicious behavior, it will alert one of our live proctors to pop into the session and redirect the student to prevent them from going down a path that they should not be going down. This hybrid on-demand solution allows flexibility and scalability. This slide talks about our support. We have some amazing stats on this slide. The one that I would like to bring your attention to is in the bottom, the 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We are available all the time. If you're allowing a student to take an exam, we're going to proctor it for you. It also is important to note that we are US-based. All of our proctors and support team are based in our Boca Raton home office in Boca Raton, Florida. Preparing for COVID-19. We were preparing for this long before the last couple of weeks and have set into motion a quick and easy process to allow institutions to be up and running within 24 hours. And then finally, just a thank you for your time today. And I'm available if you have any questions that we don't answer today or are interested in taking a look at our product. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Alicia. And now we'll move on to Jessica Hoskins. As a learning experience designer, creating learning experiences that enable the learner to achieve the desired learning outcomes in a human-centered and goal-oriented way is Jessica's objective. As the LMS administrator, Jessica is responsible for the support, design, development, implementation, delivery, and maintenance of content, assets, and other resources used for instructional functions. Jessica also serves on LMS governance committees to help set standards based on features, security, and processes, along with training and quality control. 7 years on-site IT managed services at State Fair Community College as Senior User Services Specialist, serving as Audio-Visual Specialist, and training on classroom technology, LMS Administrator for Blackboard Canvas. Transferred to a remote position of Learning Experience Designer, working with multiple colleges around the United States to improve the online learning experience and develop online courses. Jessica, you have the floor.
Hello, can everybody hear me? So I'm from Elysian, and my team is the Learning Experience Designer team. There's several of us. We work from New York to Texas to California. We've been working the past few weeks to move everyone from on-ground to online. Every school is different in structure, in LMS, tools, and because of this, I'll try to keep it basic and just state what issues I keep seeing over and over. So what we are in triage mode. There is no way that you can learn all of the best practices and approaches in a day or a week or even a month. That's what your instructional designer or learning experience designer is for, and they're probably slammed. So do the absolutely best you can. Learn the basics. I suggest starting with 2 weeks. See how it goes, reevaluate what went wrong and what worked, and then do the next 2 weeks. Prioritize. In IT, we have 5 levels of priority. I brought that philosophy in how I prioritize LED work. Is it absolutely critical? What is the impact? What is the urgency? I do see a lot of this. Ask your publisher for all of the resources available to instructors with your adopted textbook. Pretty much the majority of publishers are offering completely free ebooks and resources to both students and faculty for the spring semester. Ask them for all of the resources, quiz banks, e-textbooks, study guides, animations, videos, everything. And then work together with the rest of your instructors to develop one master course for your subject. If you can't do that, communicate with them. If you have Teams or Slack or a Facebook group you can use. Work together, work smarter, that way you don't have to work as hard. And then for equipment, definitely get a headset if you're going to Zoom or Blackboard Collaborate, any type of video conferencing. Everybody's different in how they want a headset to work. I do suggest a wired. They do seem to work much better. I have a wide-angle HD Logitech C960, and you can attach a tripod to it. And that's how I use it as a webcam and document camera. So if you are a math teacher or need to show something and write something down. My favorite document camera is the HoverCam Solo Plus. It is a little bit expensive. It's the cheapest one out there, but you can use it as a webcam as well. For math, you can use a Wacom tablet, or if you have a touch screen, you can go ahead and use it with a stylus or an iPad or tablet. Make sure if your school has a checkout system to utilize it. They probably have laptops, adapters, webcams that you can use. One school is cleaning out their computer labs and offering the monitors to all their teachers to use as dual monitors, sorry. And you can ask your college to do that. That way you can have two screens, especially it increases productivity by 40%. As well as if you are doing Zoom, you can have one screen completely sharing instead of accidentally sharing email or Facebook or grades. So I do recommend that as well. Tips for first-time online learners: be patient. Everyone's learning, even the students. Listen. Listen to your instructional designers, listen to your students, and use the resources you have available to you. So read your emails. And if you don't know something, Google it. It's amazing to me about the amount of things that you can just Google and find the answer. And then accessibility is probably going to be a huge concern over the next 2 weeks. Students who didn't really have an issue in your classroom will have one now. So make sure everything is accessible. I recommend sending an email out to your students with your accessibility office on how to contact them to see if they need any accommodations. Clear instructions. This is probably the #1 issue I am seeing. Clear instructions and consistent deadlines for your students. While they are probably freaking out, it's best to keep them on track. If they don't have anything to do, they're going to get on social media and just keep reading about the coronavirus and keep freaking out. So clear instructions, keep them busy, consistent deadlines, and have an etiquette on if you do have Zoom webinars. And then what student resources are available to them. Some colleges are offering laptops and mobile hotspots. Do you have online tutoring available, online library? And as yourself, as the instructor, do you have virtual office hours? Do you recommend only having one a week, 1 hour? While you probably had office hours on campus for 3 or 4 hours a day, you don't want to do that online because you will get distracted with emails, you'll leave your computer. I would start with 1 hour a week. If it fills up, if you have 3 or 4 students during that hour, then offer another one, but just start with one. And then, again, communication. Do not overuse communication. If you put an announcement every single day and email them every single day, they are going to be overloaded with information. So be strategic, be available, One of the key metrics of student satisfaction with their professors surrounds availability. You want the learners in your class to feel supported, and offering your time in a virtual environment will do just that. They're quite worried right now, and some of them might not be tech savvy. So you can use a variety of methods: phone, video conferencing. Zoom Pro is currently free for educators. And then it also adjusts to internet connections, because in Missouri, you might have a variety of rural students. So it does adjust to internet connections. Make yourself available by phone. There are video conferencing tools, but the good old-fashioned telephone is perfect to explain something quickly. That could take many paragraphs in an email. You can forward your calls from office phone to your home phone, so you don't have to give out your private number. Students will be far more engaged when they know you can see them too. So if you do offer video, you should be on. I know I'm not right now, but I would be. So if you hold set class meeting times, make video sharing a requirement. And if you're worrying about proctoring a test and you don't have any tools available to you, just ask each student to log in to an online meeting and turn their videos on during testing time. It might help a little bit. And then, let's see, feedback. We already covered virtual office hours. Feedback, provide feedback. There are some tools such as 11 Trees that simplifies grading. If you have an assignment where you have to keep typing the same thing over and over, you can pick and choose common feedback for quicker grading. I know that several students are complaining about there's no feedback on their assignments, so they can't redo a paper or anything like that. So quicker grading to fix that issue. And then I did create a faculty training course over the weekend. If you guys want to enroll, it covers web conferencing. It covers resources available to you for the coronavirus, like the publisher, a list of publishers that are offering free, ebooks and videos, and then also online learning resources that you can use, and ADA. I'm updating it this week. Canvas, it is in Canvas. Canvas was having a few issues this morning, so I will be updating it this week. So it's completely free to use. You can invite whoever. I just want to help in the best way possible. And that covers me.
Thank you so much. And now we'll move on to our next presenter, Art Janowick. Thank you for the pronunciation of that, Art. I appreciate it. The third is the VP of Sales and Marketing at the Canover Company. He graduated from St. Norbert College and loves helping people better themselves. He has experience speaking, training, and putting together online courses for emotional intelligence and soft skills. He currently lives in Appleton, Wisconsin, and with his wife and 3 children. It's all yours, Art.
Awesome. Thanks, Kaylin. So a couple of housekeeping. Number one is if you hear kids stomping around, I figure we're all working from home. So the only difference is obviously my mic's on. You can hear them. So that just hopefully they'll stay quiet. I told my wife. And then number two is I wanted to try and cram a 50-minute presentation down to 8 or 10 minutes. And obviously with that much content, I just wanted to just overly simplify things because as the presenters before me and Kaylin started the presentation saying, you know, it's a big stress having to shift from in-person, on-site stuff, dealing with that to completely virtual, no human contact, right? So I wanted to oversimplify things. So go on our website. You can look up everything that we have, what we're about. The short version is we've been around for 40 years. We've been doing assessments and curriculum since the beginning. And our focus has always been on, I always call them like the other skills because they change names every decade. But soft skills, emotional intelligence, empathy, interpersonal assertion, power skills, employability skills, whatever you want to call them, that's what we focus on, and that's what we've been focusing on. You can download research on the validity and reliability. You can do all that stuff if you need some help sleeping at night. So the next slide I want to show you is soft skills account for 85% of success in life, while the hard skills account for 15%. Now, every time I share this stat, people write it down, and then the next question is like, whoa, where'd you get that? Where'd you get that? And I downloaded the cover of the study, and it's really hard to see. And then that's the next question is, I can't really see this study. And there's a point to that. The study was done in 1918. So 102 years ago, we have a study that shows that 85% of success in life comes from soft skills. So for over 100 years, the focus of our career training programs in this country have been on the technical skills or the hard skills. But we've kind of not so much ignored it, but we don't have a process for teaching and assessing soft skills. And that's because we've been really focused on these hard skill training. And the real fact is that these touchy-feely soft skills, they're costing businesses billions and billions of dollars in lost revenue. And if you just look at, when you talk about post-secondary institutions, whether it's higher ed, community colleges, we're trying to have them go through all of our programs to help alleviate things like turnover, onboarding for staff training, all that stuff. So a bad system will beat a good person every single time. Okay, so in saying that, you need to have a system in place. You need to have a process in place. First thing you need to do, 3 steps. 3 steps. Start with soft skills. Have a pre-assessment to identify knowledge in soft skills. So there's 8 soft skills that we cover: attitude, communication, planning and organizing, critical thinking, interpersonal skills, teamwork, professionalism, media rules. Once you identify those soft skills, then you want to make sure that there's a curriculum in place aligned with the assessment results. So have video-based curriculum aligned with those assessment results, so we're able to differentiate instruction. So when we have a distance learning scenario like we do now, you can have 30, 100, 300 people taking an assessment, and then we can align the curriculum based off the assessment results automatically. And then once that's done, we're going to go ahead and have them go through a post-assessment, and all the meanwhile track all of the data. So you can compare and contrast. You can see what Johnny scored on attitude for his pre and his post. You can look and identify strengths and weaknesses of the before and after. You can run reports based off of the person's, a group's results to show that this group or this cohort scored higher in this area than the other cohort. So everything's being tracked and monitored automatically, so you can have the results and look at those results. Set up an onboarding, that's waived. We've gotten rid of that, and there's quantity discounts available for institutions that purchase. Again, especially because this is like you're in a pinch. You want to go ahead and make sure that you have some programs in place specific to the students that you're trying to serve. And so it's $25 a student, quantity discounts available. So contact me, you can call me, email me, you can go, like I said, on our website. There's more information regarding the research and all that stuff that I mentioned previously, but you can go ahead and check all that information out and then contact us for more information. That's all she wrote. Thanks, Cameron.
Thanks so much. And now we will move on to Derek Reeves, who has spent a 20-plus year career in high technology and e-commerce, from Texas to Boston, and most recently at the FedEx and AutoZone headquarters in Memphis. He graduated in electrical engineering from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, then obtained his MBA from the MIT Sloan School of Management. Along the way, he has always had a passion for entrepreneurship and helping people. He now has the opportunity to pursue both passions as co-founder of Career Quo. Go ahead, Derek.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for giving me this time. So we're all familiar with the challenge now to connect students to resources that are on campus. This challenge was there before, but it's gotten much, much worse now that the virus has hit, and that's an understatement. So what we're providing with Career Quo is LinkedIn for advertising and mentoring. So let me explain. The student who needs advice, they can search for advisors, faculty member, alumni, counselors, mentors, whatever resources the school has, even employers. They can search for them, see their schedule, set up time with them, connect live, and then get feedback. So this is a way of connecting on demand for the live video advising and counseling that's needed. Specifically, what we do is set up online communities doing social distancing that's happening right now. So imagine an online community where you have your school in one community and you have multiple teams in that community. These teams can be different departments. These teams can be different types of students, so international students, or it can be organizations. It can be groups that need to be identified like veterans or those with disabilities. It can be faculty members. So any kind of team you want to identify that you want searchable on this platform for yourself, other students, faculty members, or either employers. So there's great benefits to having that. Also, in this community, long-term, what it does lead is retention and graduation and employment. We all know that if a student has someone to hold their hand, they are 100 times more likely to succeed. Not only getting into school, but retaining them, graduating, and finding the job that they want. We also have groups. So imagine on top of these one-on-one sessions, I can set up a group session. So I can invite multiple students, and I'll give you an example of that. You have a prominent alum. You can invite an alum to speak to a group of 100 or 200 students. So you can imagine the power in that, this alum being able to tell their story to these students that are invited to the platform and basically telling how they succeeded. Also in these sessions, with the feedback will be written. So with this written feedback, after the video sessions, the mentor writes down the feedback or the advisor writes down feedback. The feedback is very helpful, not only as a history to the student and what the student needs to progress in or what they're doing good at, it's also beneficial to the department. So now the department can see how students are actually being helped by reaching out in these video sessions. The department can actually also track if many students are getting advice in the same area that they need to work on. Now the school, you can change your programs to actually address that. So this tracking of data and monitoring is very valuable. We also have messaging. So on top of the video, you can message someone to say, hey, are you the right person I should have a session with? Are you the right person who can help me through this challenge? So we've set this up so that it not only helps with the student's career, but they can get help from anyone academically as well as in life's challenges. These are things we've heard over and over again. This is well beyond career. Anything the student needs help with to help them overcome an obstacle or meet a school need, especially now that we're virtual. This is how it works. This is our mobile view. Keep in mind, we are going to do a full demo tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. I'll give the information out at the end so you can see the full desktop view. But for the purposes of this call, this is what a student or an advisor could do on their phone. And now that you guys are at home, to make it very convenient. You create your profile. You select the field that you want to look at if someone's looking for you. They can search by your name, whatever advisor they've been assigned to, or mentor, an alum. Many ways to search and find someone you want to talk to. You see their schedule. The person puts their schedule in. You select the date and the time that you would like to talk with them, and you connect by video. What we've found is that making it this simple really engages those in the community, not only those at the school or resources, but those in the community and supporters and friends of the school that want to give back. It makes it so easy for them. Our goal is to connect all the community colleges in the state. So let me explain how this works. In the middle are the students. So first of all, on your campus, the students can be connected to career services and employers. So you have employers that come on. Those employers that have access can now have direct access to students, search, filter, look at their resumes, and actually give them live video interviewing through the platform. So I put here some of the top employers in the state. So imagine these types of employers or whoever recruits your school, you invite them, you give them your community code access, and now they have access to your students and staff and alums. So they can connect to faculty and staff, alumni, as well as the different departments. I listed a few here: healthcare, arts and sciences. Healthcare is obviously going to be big given the virus challenge, so your healthcare students can connect with others with those resources, but any department or any major or any area. Also, diversity and inclusion. What we found is that this is very helpful for diverse students to be identified and put in teams and actually be able to identify themselves and be found through this type of system. So back to connecting all the schools in the state. So we want to connect. If a student goes to community college at one end of the state, they can now be connected to alumni and resources at the school at the other end of the state. And the story and the power in that, now all the community colleges are working together in one huge alumni network, faculty network, student network, you name it, employer network. It increases the value proposition for students that come to community college. Here are some of the schools that we're working with. I'll highlight Southwest Tennessee Community College. So we are working with them here in Memphis area. That's where we're based. So we're based in this part of the country. We're working with them and to onboard them, and also work with the state of Tennessee to actually put in place exactly the vision I just showed you. So we are working with Southwest Tennessee to kick this off, but go across the whole state of Tennessee and then duplicate this across many, many states. If you want more information, we are doing a webinar tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. It is a Zoom webinar. I don't have it on the screen, but I'll tell it to you to write down. The Zoom number is 901-326-4545. Once again, if you go to zoom.com, it's 901-326-4545. We can show you more about the desktop view and all of the great features behind the scene that you can really use this platform. Also, you can contact us at contact@careerquo.com. That is contact@careerquo.com. Thank you.
Thanks so much. And now we will move on to our final presenter, Chad Adams, Account Executive with Insight Public Sector, a global leader in information technology solutions spanning software, hardware, and services. He has over 25 years of experience specifically serving education customers' IT needs. Go ahead, Chad.
Thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity. Like the presenters before me, there's a lot of information. I'm going to keep it really short, especially since I'm bringing up the end of this. Basically, I just wanted to put together some really quick resources. I think everybody's kind of mentioned prior to this presentation, you know, everything's about connectivity, right, and remote work. And I think Jessica from Aleutian got into some good specifics on there. So we all talk about the platforms and connecting it. The equipment's kind of a crucial part of it. I myself have K-12 students who have been flipped to this model, and really they're K-5 if you want to be really accurate. So it's very interesting for students in that category. They adapt pretty well, but there's so many different platforms available. Every institution, you know, may have their own thing going. So I kind of tried to really just generalize, I think, what, you know, some of the main things I hear a lot from the college level. So that's primarily where I work, is in the higher education space across the country. Number of organizations mentioned there that we do work with on that. So large scale and online only universities that I work with. So we have a lot of experience in this format prior to any of this occurring. So hopefully it can help. Please feel free to reach out to me. A lot of these resources are free. So I've got a slide up here right now. This is really just, like I said, to capture the top few, just as, hey, here's some quick information. There are hundreds of similar resources out there, right? A number of people have mentioned Zoom. Obviously, they're doing some things. A lot of the stuff that we as Insights don't sell. Microsoft A1 licenses, we're a huge Microsoft partner. A1 licenses are free to anyone that has Teams and Skype in there. You may need to add phone licenses if you want to create call-ins. There are some ways to do that. I put some links on here. Not sure how well they'll come out in the presentation, but again, I can forward links to anyone. I'm sure Kaylin can also do the same for any of the members. A lot of education blogs out there for these various publishers, Microsoft, Cisco, and Adobe being some big ones. I doubt there's a school out there that doesn't have some aspect of their technology. A lot of them are delivering free or expanded licensing. The Adobe one's of particular interest because I know that's a very hard. I've had a number of customers. How do we switch our licensing from our lab licensing so that we can use it for remote students? And Adobe's a particularly difficult one. It doesn't work well in a lot of RDS or VM type of situations, but Adobe's addressed that by allowing institutions that have lab licenses to get free student licenses. So that's a huge one because, again, it's not a technology that's necessarily easily achieved in a remote virtual machine type of environment. Again, Microsoft and Cisco offering their webinar platforms. Certainly there's many others. Cisco in particular, as well as really as Microsoft, within those platforms have multi-factor authentication. I've been getting hammered with this lately. So the first wave was how do we deliver remote sessions to our students and our remote workers. That's been largely, I would say, achieved to this point. Second wave is how do we secure it, right? There's a ton of bad stuff out there, fake resources being stood up around the virus, just, a lot of malware going on. So security is key. Both of those have multi-factor authentication available. If you haven't implemented that on your campuses, you should anyway. This is a great opportunity. General security, so a number of them that I don't have listed on here because this information is dynamic and keeps coming. Again, a good reason to check with me, check with our company. Palo Alto, a number of firewalls are offering. Sophos has a virtual firewall, so you can stand these firewalls up if your networks are getting hammered. Good way to address that, right? A lot of these things, again, free resources or extended trials that may run 60, 90 days trying to get through the roughest part of the transition. To that note, I would say, especially with community colleges, because you don't have a hard stop to your school year, like a traditional four-year institution might. Many of those have thrown in the towel at this point or are coming up with plans probably to do so not too far off in the future here, but looking towards the summer and then even looking towards the fall, just planning ahead and getting ahead of any of that situation. Good time to do that, to implement these things. The same thing goes with the actual hardware, right? It's I believe with Lucian, I mentioned webcams. Those are great. They're really hard to get hold of. We have national inventory where I have viewpoints into that. I get daily reports on every type of laptop, Chromebook, anything you can think of, webcams, what's in stock, where. You have to get in line because basically there isn't any stock. So it's get online, get it ordered. A lot of institutions are using stuff they have already in their labs, but as far as getting new equipment in, still supply chain constraints. So a message there is, again, I think this will be with us for a while. It's good to get ahead of it, get in line now to make sure you capture those those additional resources that you may need even going into the summer or next year. And aside from that, to expedite that, again, a lot of these things are free. Expedited purchasing, a lot of times we don't have a lot of time to get things out there, do RFPs, et cetera. Insight owns actually Omnia Partners and NASPO contracts. Most of the institutions, certainly Missouri, can use any of these. NASPO is a huge one. The state recently added on to that last year. So, again, expedite those purchases, get you in line early, get some of that procurement process out of the way to get things happening faster. So that's pretty much what I have. Again, feel free to contact me if your institution is working with us currently or not. Happy again to send out links, and like I said, there's plenty of other stuff I couldn't include because it would just make the slide deck too large. But a lot of resources out there, and we're keeping a beat on it and happy to share them.
Thanks so much, Chad. And again, to the attendees, please feel free to type your questions in the Q&A box. We do have one comment, love the noise. I believe that's referring to Art's comment about his kids are running around in the background, as are mine. So yeah, I apologize if you hear anything. And someone asked for the list of the 8 soft skills. So if that presenter would like to read them off.
Yeah, I can. Would it be emailing probably be easier because that was like a small slide.
Okay, that'd be great. I will look that up.
Yeah.
And send it to them. No, that's great. We will
get
that to them.
Thanks.
And then we had one, where can I get a webcam?
So I can take that. This is Chad. They are hard to get hold of. Since a lot of systems now include webcams built into the notebooks and so forth, a lot of people are relying on those. They do have their limitations, obviously. So we're down to a couple major suppliers. Logitech, Microsoft actually makes a lot of them. Highly constrained, right? I mean, they're getting gobbled up as quick as they come in. It's the same kind of thing, I would say. Get in line. Having said that, for personal use, that's on an institutional level. For personal use, there are a few in the consumer channels. You can occasionally get hold of them, ordering online with Best Buy or Micro Centers if you're around the St. Louis area. But again, they're getting exhausted, so I would get some information quick, get an order in line. That's going to be your best bet. It probably won't be in stock right now, but you'll be in the queue.
Great, thank you. And we have another question. Yes, the slides will be sent out, Michael. We will send those out in an email along with a survey we would like you to fill out. Thank you for that question. And is it possible to move forward with any of these services without going through our procurement offices?
Again, this is Chad. I can speak to at least what I had up on the slide. So, yes, a lot of things out there can be signed up outside of procurement because, again, they are free licensing. Some things may require an IT administrator on your campus to sign up to attach things to be able to assign users. Others don't require that. For instance, can't include everything in there, but TechSmith, for instance, if you need to snag a license to do screen recording for any of your presentations or curriculum that you're trying to put out there in this remote platform, those are free licenses that are available. You can actually just go out to their website and sign up for those. So there's a number of things like that don't involve any kind of procurement cycle.
I'll say yes also. This is Derek from Curriculo. Yes for us as well. We can get you set up with a group very quickly to have online virtual meetings.
Is there another presenter that wants to touch on that? Okay, in closing, I'm going to really put the presenters on the edge of their seats, and we're going to give you each 60 seconds, starting with Peter, going through the same order, if you want to give just like a little 60-second wrap-up to your presentation. Well, if Peter is not on, we can move on to our next presenter, which was Alicia.
Sorry, Caitlin, I was just mute.
Peter.
I forgot to
Go
unmute.
ahead,
I apologize. But no, I just want to say thank you for everybody. It's great to be able to have this opportunity to present. And again, just in a recap, ConnectEd really helps just bridge that gap between all of your on-campus and now in this pivotal time, virtual student services. Really aiming to allow students to just click a link on your website or your email signature or wherever to be able to begin that process and maintain that communication stream. Thank you.
Great. Alicia?
Thank you. I would just thank you for the opportunity to be here today and to present to you all. And if anybody out there is needing online proctoring to proctor assessments during this time, we have definitely set up a quick and easy way to get you up and running within 24 hours. So we would love to partner with you. Thank you.
Okay, Jessica.
I just have that course. My team is available for contracts, but the course I just built separately. That way anybody could use it, and I will be updating it frequently. I'm doing that right now. So if you want to join, it's on the slides for when those come out. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you. And Art?
Yeah, I want to just reiterate, thank you guys so much for attending, for the opportunity to present MCCA, and just be patient. All of us had kind of a similar message in the sense that this happened very quickly. We've been on the phone and on Zoom, and just be patient because everyone's learning at a different pace. Everyone's trying to do what's best with the knowledge that we have today. And as we know, that changes hourly as well. So be patient, be happy. This will pass. I'm not sure when, but it'll pass. So, but thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. And Derek?
Once again, thanks everyone for your time. Remember, CareerQuo, we can help you get your students, your advisors, your faculty member, your alums, your employers, and all the schools around the state connected in one online community and the benefits of that. So contact us at contact@careerquo.com and attend our webinar tomorrow at 8 a.m. on Zoom, 901-326-4545. Thank you.
Okay, and Chad?
Yes, thank you. And yeah, I again reiterate a lot of resources out there, many of them not at a cost. Feel free to contact me directly. Happy to field questions. This is exactly what I do all the time. It's just a heightened sense of urgency now for a lot of people. But I do think this is going to carry forward we see a lot of coverage of the new normal. I think that's certainly the case. Like I said, I deal with institutions that their only delivery model is online, and it has been for a number of years. They're pretty adept at it. I think it's for a lot of people, it's new. If you're accustomed to working in person, teaching these classes in person, it's definitely a new experience. As was mentioned earlier, I think everybody's doing a great job considering it was thrust upon them. But I do think it's going to be a learning experience. Everyone will get through it, and I think there will be interest in adopting that more broadly going forward. So it's good preparation for us all, and we'll all learn together.
Thank you. And thank you all again for joining us. And a huge thank you to our presenters. They're valuable partners of ours, and they jumped in on this opportunity to share their expertise and work quickly to get the information to you this week. We will be sending a recording of today's webinar, as I mentioned, and There will also be a session survey in this email. Please take that. It helps us develop these types of services to our members. You can learn more about our webinar series on our website, mccatoday.org, and click on the coronavirus banner at the top of the page. Feel free to share with everyone. They are complimentary to all. We're developing these in real time, so there will be changes. Check in often. We will send you notifications as well, of course. Our next session, Student Presence in Remote Instruction, is tomorrow, Tuesday, March 31st at 2:15. Please join us. You can connect with us if there's any other way we can serve you during this time. We have also created an online forum for you to access through your member portal. You can share and gain useful resources during this time. Again, you can share today's experience on social using the hashtags MCCA webinar, Better Together, and COVID-19. Thank you all and have a great day.